The process of surgery is something that, because it is so intense and because it takes a lot of time and it often takes a lot of money, and it is something that is very easily sensationalized because of the imagery associated with it, it becomes one of the primary narratives that is attached to trans experiences. When that is the only thing that's focused on, it ignores the immensely positive lives that they lead in the months and years following. So creating a transformation that is acknowledging both these kind of messy sides as well as the kind of beautiful and wonderful side of it kind of paints the bigger picture of what these experiences and what living as a trans person is like. My name is Elliot Rex White, and my project is A Night for Flesh and Roses. A Night for Flesh and Roses is a game that I've been developing over the past year. It is in the visual novel genre, so that means there's a lot of dialogue and a lot of characters that you meet. It basically takes place in a far future sci-fi world where extreme body modification and bodily transformation is very commonplace. And so the player is put into this space that is called the Crucible, which is this giant fleshy castle. And you are able to construct your own body out of these parts. All of these parts are pieces of the human body, taken from a Grey's Anatomy textbook, so sliced and diced and collaged in various ways. And so as you're going through, you're able to form relationships with these characters, whether they be more adversarial or maybe they're more intimate. And you eventually find out what is allowing these kind of transformations to take place, which is equally parts kind of horrifying, but also kind of exciting. The game itself is taking place in an installation, so it is trying to create an immersive space that takes some of the collage and immersive environment and bring it into the physical space for people to walk through all of these things that make it feel very textural, even though it is a fully digital game. It's also thinking about the ways that the grotesque can become beautiful. So the game is imagining the types of bodies that might not ever be considered conventionally beautiful and placing them in a context in which they become a desirable thing to strive for. It's kind of a marriage between disgust and desire in a lot of ways. So the subject matter is important to me because it is something that has impacted me personally. So I'm also combining the joy of what a surgical process like that can give to somebody. Quick and efficient, like. There are parts of it that are not pretty that I don't want to hide or try to obfuscate, but instead embrace as a part of a larger narrative. It's also a way to avoid things like fear-mongering images that will present surgical images as a way to say, this is something scary that's happening to people. So for instance, a phrase that you'll usually hear is somebody has been mutilated. And so in my game, I kind of take that metaphor, that phrasing to the farthest extreme and say, this is something that might have the appearance of mutilation, but is actually desirable to these characters. By creating these grotesque characters, I'm reclaiming the language that's usually thrown at trans people. It's like saying we own who we are, messy parts included, and we won't let any of that be used against us.